YouTube, it's Jay Elizabeth, and I hope you can hear me. I don't know where my headphones are, so I really hope you can hear me. But I am going to talk about chakras and money, so you cannot say you don't know about it, okay? So let's also start with I'm giving you this information, but it'll do nothing for you if you do nothing with it. Let me start with that because I'm going to go live from now until my birthday, November 22nd, and I want to just give you guys information that you can actually use, especially considering people keep talking about, oh, recession, recession, recession. Now, I know everybody does not have the moxie, the guts, the tenacity to do things full fledged, especially if you're watching YouTube videos uh, about chakras and money. And I only say that because I was here once. And one of the ways that leads to change is feeling like you are prepared, feeling like you have the information that you need. And there's nothing wrong with that. So let's start with we're talking about the main chakras. We're not going to talk about the 144. I forget the number of chakras that there are. And I encourage you to look into that after you get the understanding that everything is energy, including money, and your energy body needs to be unblocked and clear in order for you to be able to receive. So if things are not flowing properly, it's because something has a blockage. And it usually is your root chakra, which is at your root. So like right under, how can I say this? It is where your bum is, I guess you can say. Not like your pelvis, but your bum up underneath, in between. And it controls your security, your feeling of safety, your feeling of peace. So if you're afraid, you won't. They already had a saying like, "Scare money don't make money." It's true. So you don't want to be afraid, and you want to be safe, and you want to feel at ease where you are. So if you're panicking, if you're fearful, if you're doubtful, if you're scared, feeling like things are not going to go your way, then they won't. And that brings me to a post that I made today on Facebook. See? A post that I made on Facebook. Someone was talking about, I don't know what they were talking about, but okay, well, I can't say that because y'all are listening. Okay, someone was talking about, what are they talking about? It was something along the lines of, there's no such thing as too much faith. So if you listen to that, you'll either take the route of what's wrong with you, or you'll take the route of, oh, I have a story to match that. And I actually have a story to match that. But someone put that's called toxic positivity. So I asked her, okay, so if that's toxic positivity, are affirmations toxic positivity? Because affirmations are technically lies. It's you trying to convince yourself of something. And when it comes to like the world of chakra girls and stuff, what you're gonna do is convince yourself otherwise of the things that are not working for you. So if you're afraid, if you limit yourself, some really good root chakra affirmations, mantras, sayings, whatever you want to say. I just want to say I was Catholic, so it's not abnormal for us to chant. Catholic priests chant, and most of us know it was Catholicism, and then they were like, oh, too many rules, and then all the other Christians came about. So this is just normal for Christians to chant. Maybe not in all churches, but don't think this is like witchcraft, is all I'm saying. This is neuroscience. Let's call it neuroscience, because even in neuroscience, they say the same. If you watch 9/11 news reports over and over and over, you can get PTSD. You know why? Because your brain, it's not dumb. It just works a certain way. So the reason why, if you continually visualize or put yourself in front of your vision board, remembering what you're going for, you'll get it, is because your mind is like, oh, that's our reality. Oh, that's our reality. Oh, that's our reality. So again, root chakra affirmations. I'm gonna look at my notes. I am right here, right now, as in you're present, as in you're safe, as in you don't have to be in the future and you don't have to be in the past. I am present moment awareness. Now you have to speak in the present tense because all you really have is right now. Some people get hung up on the past, some people get afraid about the future, but you have to be present. You have to learn and practice being present because everything doesn't come easy to everybody because of how you were raised. I was raised to just listen. If I listen, everything goes well. So as an adult, I had to learn to decide and then listen to myself and then adapt that everything will go well. I embrace life. I am grounded to earth and connected to the crystalline grid. My body is vibrantly healthy. You can repeat after me. My earth body is a temple of my soul. I have the strength of the source. Now, source, you can replace that with God, you can replace that with the universe, you can replace that with whatever you want. But say it until you are convinced that you are safe, that there's nothing to fear. No matter what the government is doing with the money, you are protected from detriment. That's the other thing. You have to choose your words properly. I'm gonna go live every day until my birthday. I feel like I said that. I'm gonna go live or I'm gonna post a video. But I was with this guy and he was depressed. So I'll do a video on dating depressed people or dating while depressed. The biggest thing is I was looking up the word, what is depressed? And it's like pressed. So it's like they're impressing something against you. And, you know, impressed is the word, suppressed is the word, oppressed is the word. All these pressed things is really just manipulation. And that's also what I was talking about with the woman who said toxic positivity. I was like, okay, so affirmations are just you pressing up against what is already there. You're either adding to something. Do I have a jar? I do. If this is full, everything will fall. Like if and I pour more water into it, it's gonna be overflowing. But if it's full of things like fear, you have to impress. I fear nothing. I fear nothing. I fear nothing. I am protected. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. Until all the fear overflows and spills out. Like until it's empty completely of fear. Like you gotta get empty of fear. And she wasn't debating me, but she was saying like, if you're in a relationship and the person wants to break up with you and you're just speaking positively to yourself like, no, they're not going to break up with me. No, they're not. No, they're not going to break up with me. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're going to work this out. You can prolong the relationship. Do you know why? Because in his cup, it says, this relationship is over. And you're pouring, this relationship is fine. This relationship can work out. This relationship will be beneficial for both of us. We'll make it through. You're trying to pour it in. But eventually, if you stop, this relationship will be overflowing. So majority wins, always. And yes, you can do magic on other people, but they have free will, and their free will, especially if they're consistent and especially if their mind is made up, that's why they have that song, when a woman's fed up, there's nothing you can do about it. Her cup is full of, this relationship will not work. You can try to add little droplets of, we're fine, we can make it through, but majority wins, majority rules, and you cannot override people's free will. You can suggest things, but you cannot override their free will. And honestly, that is the basis of magic. Setting your intention, letting it become the majority. That's the reason for candles. If you have candles, you are putting your intention into them from your palm chakras, and that candle is repeating your intention over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So yeah, that's the point, to make sure your intention is the majority. Now let's move on to the next chakra. It is the sacral chakra, and it's right under your navel, so right under your belly button. It is the chakra of sexuality, intimacy, vitality, ecstasy, passion, creativity, relationships, emotional courting, control of life force energy, impulsiveness, freedom, and your emotional self. So like your emotions. So when it comes to your emotions are everything. There's a book on it. It was written in like the early 1900s. Really short book because back then books were not full of fluff. They were just like, this is the information, take it, enjoy it. And if your emotions are irregulated, like, I'm going to talk about this in another video. I do not like the movie Love Jones. And it's because they were not straight to the point in that movie. There was like emotional turbulence. It's like, I want this, but I don't, but I do, 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 but I don't. And you know what this is looking like? What they call bipolar. And you know what's on the rise in the black community? Games. The games you play with people's emotions. Who knew they had a cost? Anyways, back to the sacral chakra. Let's get to the affirmations. They are: I am God vitality. I am sacred sexuality. I release the lower desires of ego and elevate my emotions to a higher level. I am emotionally regulated. I am divine creativity. I feel the beauty of all creation. I deepen my love and connection to Mother Earth and to the soul of nature. Those are the affirmations for that one. Let's move on to the solar plexus, which is above your navel. I would say, like, let's see. If you put your hand there, 5 fingers above, that's your solar plexus right there. That is your personal will, your free will. So if you were a kid that was like always, personal experience here. So if you're a kid that was always like overridden by your parents, or like you were in religion, you're used to being your free will being overridden to a degree. You still have your free will though. So you will have to work on this chakra. If you're not used to keeping your word, if you're not used to showing up on time, if you're not used to like being consistent, then you need to work on your solar plexus because it governs your free will. It governs your confidence, honestly. Like, your brain wants to finish things. So if you say you're gonna start a project and never finish it, you're actually messing with your confidence. You're like messing up your own self-confidence in yourself to finish things because your brain still has those things like open, waiting. Like, this was 3 years ago you were supposed to become this successful entrepreneur, and you're still beating yourself up about not doing it because you just never fully developed your free will on your own, like to be self-governing. But let me read my notes. So it's your mental self. It is your identity ego, your strength, your boundaries, your practicality, your destiny, your worldly structures, and possibility. And the affirmations for this is I will. So I will it done, just like baby pain in like religion. I align my personal will with the will of my higher self. I know myself as a spirit. I know myself. I am wise in my actions and balanced in my emotions and peaceful in my mind. I am divine realization. I awaken my divine purpose and action in the world. Ooh, that's a good one. I awaken my divine purpose and my divine action in the world. I awaken, I am. So after you do the solar plexus and down, understand those are your lower chakras. And those are what keeps you free of anxiety, free of depression, free of BS, because those are the ones that are developed when you're a baby. So your root chakra is developed when you feel like you're safe because your mom's always carrying you around and stuff. But if you have to take care of yourself, like if you have to self regulate as a baby, yours is kind of iffy, you know? So you got to work on it. Your solar sacral chakra, which is your emotions and all that, again, if you have to regulate yourself, like cry it out and stuff like that. I'm not saying any way of parenting is better than the other. I'm saying if that's what you had to do as a baby, as an adult, you're probably doing the same thing. You're probably not doing it that well because you never really got the full instructions, the full guide of what it really means because your parents probably never got it. And if you're of this complexion, of this skin tone, of this culture, it makes sense, right? So it also makes sense that you have to do a little bit extra work. But do not fret. There is a person named B underscore soul on YouTube. He does free and paid sessions on his YouTube channel of him giving you alignments of your chakras and balancing and cleansing them out. Like he does it for you, and then he'll do like a long chant of Shrim Brazi, which is a wealth chant. So those are your lower chakras. I'm gonna rename this because it's getting kind of long, and I hope you enjoy. Later. I'll be back tomorrow.